So you wanted to work on the fence reactivity, right?
Yes, I did. I was talking to Jessie about it last time I was in a couple days ago, and it's when the dogs aren't super reactive, she is okay. Like, she's not lunging and barking only like when I'm continuously tapping her.
And you're on continuous, or you're just saying?
I mean, yeah,
Okay,
just
okay.
repeat.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even know how to use the continuous, to be
No.
honest with you.
No.
Over there, whenever a dog is like reactive behind a fence,
Yeah.
then I feel like I can't control her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was what I was reaching out to you about. But yeah, that's about it.
For sure. Is there anything else? How is she in general, besides the fence? How is she like on the walks in general? Like
on the walk, she's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She is doing really well with heels, so that has helped a lot of our problems that
Mm-hmm.
we had. I'm trying to think. She's good. She does this thing where, like, because I'm starting to tap her when she's looking at any dogs now
Mm-hmm.
for activity, and she does this thing where she like doesn't move her head, but she moves her
Oh, I
eyeballs.
see.
Like,
So like she's walking straight, but she's watching the dog like that?
Yeah, like she'll just be like, I'll tap her once, and then she'll be like, okay, now I know I'm not supposed to look.
Yeah.
But then she'll like move her eyeballs to try to look. And I just think that's kind of hilarious, but she knows, I can tell that she knows that I have to stop looking.
Mm-hmm. It's not only, because sometimes it depends like the intent of looking. So like, if it's like, kind of like this, like ears are back, like she just looked at me, but it was like more like a glance.
Yeah.
But if she was just staring at me, ears back still, that's letting me know she's just passively watching me.
Right.
Versus the ears forward and like the
Yeah.
chest out, that's like, okay, that's like, you're building up.
Right.
That's what we address. But if you see her kind of like that, as a girl, right, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. If you see her like that, and then her eyes are watching the dog, it's good because one, she's learning that she can look at a dog, but she has to be passive.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Totally. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Jesse talking about that too, and I wasn't sure, because he did make it clear that it's kind of up to my discretion in terms of
Yeah.
what progress I think we're making and when to start letting her look.
Mm-hmm.
And it really depends on the dog. Like,
Yeah, for
if
sure.
the dog is, I mean, I don't know dog language, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but if a dog is super chill, kind of like aloof, not
Yeah.
caring about her,
Yeah.
she's fine. But as soon as the dog, like, you know, either growls or barks or moves towards her, it's,
yeah.
you know, obviously it makes it worse. So those are the only ones where I'm like, okay, do I not let her look at some dogs and I can let her look at others?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then for the fence, what have you done so far? I know you said you tap continuously. And what has that gotten you? Have you noticed like progression as you pass by the fence now, or is it still stuck, like reacting to it?
Well, to be honest with you, the dog hasn't been out. I don't know if they've been on vacation or what,
yeah.
so I haven't been able to practice with that dog that we've had issues with.
Mm-hmm. There's a guy gonna run behind you, by the way.
Okay, good to know. But whenever there is any sort of reactiveness in a dog behind a fence, she is better now. I think that one particular dog that we've had a lot of issues with is, I don't know what it is about that dog.
Yeah.
But it's worse than other dogs behind a fence.
Her reaction or that dog's reaction?
Both.
Okay.
But mainly her.
Yeah.
But so far, what I was doing is, when in the beginning I started doing passes at like 50,
Mm-hmm.
and I started tapping her when she would like lunge and bark, and that I knew that was not working. So then I went up to 60, went up to 70, went up to 80, and I felt like she couldn't stay in heel. She was still going crazy, but she wasn't barking or lunging anymore at 80 at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked to Jesse, and he was like, well, you should do you should do it that high starting, and then you should do it anytime she looks that direction.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But I didn't get to see that dog again, unfortunately.
For sure.
So, but I did find another dog behind the fence who was slightly reactive, and I think it was about 80 or very close to that when she looked. And it was obviously a very loud vocalization from that, but she definitely understood what was going on, but she has a really hard time staying in heel when she gets panicked by the taps.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's probably normal, but I wasn't sure if that's something I should be correcting or...
yeah, sometimes it can be like, because we want to focus like one topic at a time.
Yeah.
Like Jesse, I'm pretty sure Jesse said like choose your battles. Like
Sure, yeah.
Like let's just kind of focus on the reacting, and then later, once she figures out, okay, I can't react, then we might just see her, you know, lock in, and then if not, and she's still kind of panicking, then we can address it as well. Just we'll keep it simple, just one thing at a time.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and just start walking.
Okay.
And then I will walk on your left side.
Okay. Heel.
She's just like a little panther.
That's what I say. I say that she's half panther, half pit bull. She's funny.
And how is she? So that's the only thing really that she's kind of reacting to intensely.
Yeah, I would say so. Dogs with on other like leashes, she doesn't react too much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be terrible. Like I couldn't walk her.
Yeah.
So the e-collar has definitely done wonders. But so she's less reactive, but I still am not able to like get anywhere close to a dog on a leash.
I see. Yeah.
Walking past us.
Yeah.
Now, for the first time the other day, I brought her to the ice cream place down the street, and I wanted to see how she would do, because I was like, okay, do I want to bring her? Is this going to be stressful? I'm like, no, we've been doing a lot of practice. We got to bring her. Mm-hmm. So I brought her, and she did really, really well. And there was a dog right behind us in line, and I tapped her anytime she looked at it, and she did great.
Cool.
And then eventually she like was looking, but very calm, so I allowed it, and I wasn't sure if that was right.
Yeah, it just depends on, like I said, the intent and why she's looking, and then just looking at the whole picture of her, like how strict, how much strictness is needed with a dog that, you know, has that intense reactivity. So if it's like really intense reactivity, then I'm pretty sure Jesse will tell the clients like, okay, every time this dog looks at another dog, just tap no matter what. Right. But if it's like not that intense of like a it's not that like the reactivity is not that intense, then like, you know, that much strictness isn't needed, just because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally, that makes sense.
But it's also just kind of playing it by ear. With those situations, whether to tap or not, if she just looks at a dog, you know?
Yeah.
Does she know where the house is, and like, does she start to get amped up, or?
Sometimes, yeah. Well, it was on the corner there. We just passed the fence that a dog sometimes is in, but she remembers that less somehow. But the boxer lives on the corner.
Okay.
Every time we passed it, even if the dog's not there, I could tell. She's like, is it there? Is it there? Is it there? You know? Yeah. But yeah, so she definitely gets on edge when she's walking past that house.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started in the street when I was working with that dog.
Oh, like giving space?
Yeah. I started right, you know, the first couple times I did it. I was out in the middle of the street. I actually started on the other side of the street. And then I slowly got into the street. And the
dog was still reacting? Oh, is it like a fence like this, or is it like?
It's just like this.
Oh, I see.
And, you know, the dog would start pacing and barking at her and lunging, and she would just go insane. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't get to, like, once I hit the grass by the fence, it was
harder.
It was almost, I felt like it was impossible.
Yeah.
Because I was doing like 85, 90 at that point. And Yeah, granted, she stopped lunging and barking, but she was still whining. She's very vocal. I know you haven't heard her at all, but
No, yeah.
usually she's very vocal and whiny and annoying. But yeah, I was worried. I'm like, I hope we run into some dogs here. Oh, there's a bulldog.
Oh my god.
Oh, Sploot.
That is cute.
Oh my gosh.
Was that a little huff or like a puff she gave?
Yeah.
Here's 2 dogs up here. So yeah, she knows. She's trying. So that's avoidance right there. Yeah. That was good.
Yeah.
And then Jesse's totally like the first step is avoidance.
He was mentioning avoidance during one of our lessons because when we were in by that playpen that you guys have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Doing a lesson there, he was saying she doesn't like the energy and she's turning away from them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really all he was mentioning about avoidance.
Yeah, so then when we're addressing reactivity or like aggression too, you'll start to see how it progresses is like, first you'll see the avoidance, which is like hiding behind you, looking away, and then curiosity will spark, and then you'll get like the submission. And submission is not always like bow down or anything. It's more like just accepting it.
Got it. Okay.
So that's good. We're starting to see avoidance because then that's progress.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes.
That's good to know.
So depending on her, when she wants to, kind of just, it's just the more repetition, the more dogs you see, and the more exposed she's getting to dogs on walks, it'll be quicker. But like, for example, if you see the dog on the fence once a month, it's gonna take a while.
I know. I'm hoping. It's been, the weather's kind of been off and on.
Yeah.
But now I feel like we've hit a point where there's going to be a lot more dogs behind fences, which is great for me.
And just in general, like dogs just walking, like it helps a lot with the clients with the reactivity. Like progress just starts to speed up there because of this, the exposure,
For sure. We can probably turn left here.
Okay.
Because this is going to turn into north soon.
Oh.
Thanks for coming and doing this.
No, yeah, no worries.
I was like, oh my gosh, I hope we see a dog or we get some sort of action.
Yeah, if we don't see a dog, like I said, we can just do another one. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
But yeah, you just have to let Jesse know. I'll let Jesse know too. But it's happened before, like I'll do a visit and then like the one day I come, there's like no dogs at all walking outside, and it's just super funny. But.
Yeah, it's definitely the weather is to our advantage today, though.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully, I guess it is lunchtime. You're from the south side, right?
Yes.
So am I. I was watching one of your home visits that you did.
Oh, I think I mentioned I was on the south side with what was that dog's name?
It's like a kitty type dog.
I forget her name, but yeah.
Yeah.
South suburbs. She was from Palos. I know the area. I'm like in like the Tinley Oak Forest
for sure
area.
For sure. Yeah, I grew up in Orland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be obviously moving closer to work would be nice, just in general.
Do you still live out there?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's just I would want to move closer, in general, but I'm not sure if I would want to be in the city.
Right.
Just cause like I'm a big fan of like the woods and like the openness and like the space. So it's just like I feel so like I don't know, like crowded,
For sure. You can turn this way.
Okay.
Yeah, these dogs here. So usually here what I would do is I would get into the street.
Yeah, just do what you normally would do.
Okay. Sit. Heel.
Good job.
So it's funny, I feel like whenever I tap her, she gets like a little bit in front of me. Like she like panics a little bit, but then she realizes she's a little bit in front of me.
When did that start of like when did you start seeing like progress with walking with the dogs, like or moving with?
Sit. She's getting in front of me, I'm sorry. Heel. Just like, she does this thing. It's like she's like being bratty. She's like, I'm gonna try to get away with it. Just
I see.
Like, just slightly, to a point where I'm like, I don't know if I should turn. So I usually have her just sit and like reset. I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
So when you do that, like resetting, you are resetting. So like it's like you'll start to see her break it more because do you know place command?
Yeah.
So like for example, place, if the dog breaks place and we say place again, the dog's thinking, okay, I just hopped off, but so the dog's thinking I can hop off whenever I want. I just got to go back when they say place. You see that? So it's the same thing here. She's thinking I can lunge and I can move forward. I just can't. I just gotta like sit when she says sit, and then heel for whenever I would like to heel when she says heel. You know?
Yeah.
So instead of repeating heel, and for the sit, we don't. If it's a formal sit, like you did sit and then heel, that's okay. But if it was just like you're stopping, the auto sit's okay. You don't need to say sit, and then you don't need to say heel again. But if she's passing you, it'd just be the tap turn. And if you're not like, obviously you have to go this way, so it'd just be tap turn and then just turn right away. So you don't need to walk like, I don't know, like,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just correct. We don't repeat commands either. Just just correct.
Got it. So if I were to stop, so I'll just.
Good, like that.
And then I wouldn't say heel.
No, you just start with the left leg.
Okay.
There we go.
So sometimes there's a dog over here, but who knows? Maybe people are gone for Easter. I don't know.
Yeah.
There he is.
Tap, 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 tap. Tap. Yeah.
There we go.
Was that the dog?
One of them, the gray and white pit bull, was the dog that we've tried to practice with before.
Dude, I didn't see anyone outside because it's the issue with this is like annoying them, you know, the owners. This one time, it was like my first time doing it, so I was like new at this and everything. So I was like, we found these like 5 Chihuahuas, I think.
Hello.
And they were just going crazy.
Oh God.
And I was like, oh, here we go. Let's just do some stationary work here. And then the lady's like, she was pissed. And you know, it makes sense. I understand why she was mad. She was just like, what are you doing to my dogs? And like, she's like, I understand what you're trying to do, but it's stressing me out, stressing them out. I was like, oh, okay. And I just walked away and I apologized and everything, but
yeah,
we have to be like mindful of them because then, I don't know.
No, totally.
Yeah.
The times I have practiced with the pit bull with the stairs.
Was that you talking about that house?
Yeah, the one the pit bull barked at her and then she kept going. The little dog I've actually never seen before. But I haven't seen an owner outside of that one yet. But
and then what number were you starting at?
So I'm starting at, usually now I start my walks at 45.
Your walks are 45?
I start at 45.
Okay.
Now for that, I was tapping at 45, and then I just jacked it up, and I looked, and it was 65. I didn't even.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did you start tapping at 65? Was it like when that second dog came out? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably around that time. I think something I also have to work on is knowing, like, I think sometimes I get surprised to see a dog, and maybe like she sees a dog first, and then I don't
I
turn
see,
it up
yeah.
quick enough.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm panicking, so I gotta work on that.
Yeah,
When would you
just-
jack it up before she sees the dog?
yeah, so the moment I heard you say, oh, he's here, that's when you would jack it up. That's when you would have pumped it up, you know?
Got it, okay.
Obviously, if they come out of nowhere, that's kind of what the prong's for, just for that surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, if you see it, I would just jack it up, and then, so now we know that 60 didn't work, but the highest you've gone is 80, right?
I think I've done 85 on her.
85?
Yeah.
So we can go around the block and then have it on 95.
Okay.
As you go along with your training and everything and the heel, you'll realize you're tapping less. I mean, you probably do realize you're tapping less just for walking.
Yeah.
So what I do, this is just me, since I don't tap when I'm walking my dog, I just have it on 127 just in case.
Oh, wow.
So then it's just there if needed, because I don't tap on my walks, you know?
No, yeah.
So it's just there.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I don't need to jam it up or anything. It's just there if I need it. And I don't even hold the remote. It's just on my belt. Obviously, when you're doing it and you're working to that, you still want to have your remote, and you still want to be at a higher number, more than the working number, since she has experience with it.
Okay.
Just so you're ready for it. That's what I find that's most comfortable and was easy for me when I was training my dog.
Yeah.
Just so I'm ready, because obviously there's gonna be surprises.
Yeah.
And I know that the working number is the number that's appropriate for the heel. So what I'm gonna do is just like maybe do a little warm up with the number. That's good. Then just jack it up maybe like 20 or 15 just in case, so that you're already at least somewhere.
Yeah.
If like a squirrel were to run by, like I'm pretty sure that would be enough for her.
Right.
But
yeah.
obviously the dogs and everything, that's just, if you see it, just ram it up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. I wasn't sure, because I know, you know, when we first started doing this, it was more of a research thing to figure out what her working number was. And then, yeah, it was like, you know, start at 10 and then figure that out. And then at some point, Jesse was like, okay, it's not building anymore. It's just, I think it was like 40 or 40 something. And so I just made it 45.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, no, that makes sense. I'll probably, because she very rarely gets out of heel, and I have to tap her at 45, like in the beginning. Like you saw, she was walking pretty well. It's really only with dogs either behind fences. Even squirrels aren't that bad with her, but
so it's just finding out, what am I usually tapping for on walks? It's usually when she has these crazy moments. Okay, that's only when I tap, so I might as well just be there the whole walk, just being ready, you know?
For sure, no, that makes sense.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and continue. And once you, because I'm not really looking around, I'm just kind of looking at Gidget. But once you start to know that we're getting closer, just have it, what was I say, 95?
Okay. You think I should do that now, 95?
You can do it like once we're like 3 houses down.
Okay.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Let me see. Bless you.
So there's the house on the corner here to the left is the house with the dog that we had the most problems with.
Oh, so there's another house coming up?
Yeah, I don't know if the dog is there. It wasn't when we first passed it.
Okay. Yeah, so if you know there might be a house, I would just, whenever you are ready, go to 95.
And do you always have the dog in between you and the fence?
So that's another threshold there too. So like, so like you said, starting off in the street or like even on the other side of the block, okay, that's good. And then as you get closer, you can start to see where she's having trouble, and then you focus on that. And then once you get close here, you do want to start with the dog, fence, human, dog, you know?
Yes. Right.
Just so it's like another threshold, just so we can see, like, will this, not to help the situation, but like, were you thinking of turning around or?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Just like the way you want to address it, because it's the same thing as like starting here versus how you started over there. You saw progress, right?
Right.
And then when you got here, we're kind of stuck. So then it's like taking a step back maybe. So the next time we approach this house, we can maybe like start on the street with these cars.
Okay.
Or go as, well, you did start far.
Yeah, I think. Or no,
it was right here, right?
Yeah, it was here because it was the dogs passing us that I went into the grass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So then the next time we approach, obviously, I don't remember if there's a fence like this here, but we can start
Like start
either
farther.
yeah, if we can, aligned with the cars on the grass or on the other side of the cars.
Okay. And you would say as soon as she like
Looks. Yeah.
Okay.
So don't even look at the other dogs. Just look at Gidget.
Okay.
And then address as needed.
Okay.
But yeah.
Gotcha.
Does Gidget like balloons?
I don't know.
There was another.
I don't think she's ever had experience with a balloon. But she was very scared of Christmas decorations this winter, so it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, look, she's like, what the? Have you ever walked around that trail, or is that just?
You know, shockingly, I live that close to 606, and I've never actually no, that's a lie. I took her once, and there weren't many dogs up there, honestly. So shockingly, and I didn't have an issue.
Do a tap.
A tap?
No, never mind. Because she was like,
Where are we going?
no, it was more like I heard it too.
It was like a little jingle.
Yeah, like a dog,
Yeah.
and then she started to go into like alert mode.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're still at 95, we can go back down until we get closer to the house.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at 45 right now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, as close as you can get to the cars. Or if you want to do on the other side of the cars, that's up to you. Good. Good, good. Good. And then whenever you're ready, you can go back on the sidewalk.
This one?
Yeah. Good. I should have walked with you because I couldn't see what Gidget was doing, but you tapped right. I think I saw her kind of like do like the look.
Yeah.
What's it called? So that was good.
Okay.
Obviously now we know that behind that car, it's fine.
Uh-huh.
So you would just keep working, repeat
Yeah.
what you've done before, because obviously when you've done it already to a dog, you would still want to take those baby steps again to like a new location because it's a new dog, new energy, and just keep working your way to address it.
Okay.
Until you can just walk by, and she's probably not gonna still look comfortable, but she won't lunge or anything like that.
Got it. Okay.
We'll walk one more time, quickly pass, and then you'll be on the grass, Gidget on your left side, walking that way. Yes, whenever you're ready. And then we won't bother this dog anymore. Tap. 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 No more tapping, no more tapping. Good. So next time, keep walking straight. So the next time, give her, Give her a more of a second of a break, just to see if is she gonna look and then look away, or look and look away.
Yeah.
But all those were correct taps, because you didn't see it, or maybe you did, but her tail was like wagging really fast.
I did not see it.
So, tail's not always happy and everything I want to play. Tail can be like she's starting to build up.
Right.
But the whole time her tail was wagging, and every time you tapped it would like stop, and then it'd go again and tap and then stop. So that was all good. But yeah, that was a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what? You just have to read her thresholds. There's a dog up here. Kind of like just find out what her thresholds are with those kind of things. And although 95 is a high number, so that's fine.
She does this.
Yeah. So here, step 2 in front and next to her. Yeah. And let her, if she wants to avoid, just let her do that. Yep. That's fine. And then whenever you're ready, we can continue the walk. If these people walk in front of that dog again, we can just tag behind them, since it's kind of like not us doing it, it's kind of both of us.
True.
But there was a moment where you didn't need to tap, but it's not gonna like ruin anything.
Yeah, I worry about over tapping. I guess, yeah, it's hard for me because I'm just looking at her head.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to tell if she's just like flinching or if she's like trying to look at the dog. The dog doesn't care.
Yeah. Is it a cavalier or something?
Yeah.
And you can also switch if you want. Like, I mean, we'll keep her in the left side. And then you're at 95?
95.
That seemed to shut her down immediately when you were tapping.
Okay.
And then if she goes to your right side, don't correct it.
Okay.
And then you can come a little closer now. She's fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's fine. She's fine. Good. A lot better. So we have to kind of, it's like when a dog is whining or they're anxious. A lot of people think that they would just tap every single whine. But when you do that, you're not allowing the brain to think. So like if a dog whines, we tap. Oh, there's another dog here. We tap. And then the dog is going to whine a little more after it.
Yeah.
But then you need to let that happen and then wait. So we need to see what she's gonna do without any taps, and all that was good.
Okay.
Even though she was a little vocal,
Yeah.
it's just her just like trying to figure out what do I do.
Yeah.
And now she's realizing, oh, I didn't get tapped, I didn't lunge. It's just like repetition, her figuring out what is acceptable. And you can go ahead and give space. Oh, here, yeah. Give a tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Wait. Good. Good. And then you can come to me on the sidewalk. Good. Good. So that was a little different. Again, new dog, new place, everything. So it's just, you're starting to see like, okay, even though we addressed that house, like this house is still an issue, but then once we address this house, and it's fine, there's another dog up here, but I'm not sure if they're reactive because he's just standing there.
Where do you see that?
He's like on the...
yeah.
I don't even know if Gidget saw.
I don't think so. She surprisingly doesn't see some dogs.
And then what's her number?
Right now I'm at 90.
Okay, we can go back down to like, we'll try 55. But that was a lot better.
It was a lot better.
Just 3 walk, was it 3? We did 3?
Yeah.
Just by 3, we saw
Yeah.
quick progress. So it's just that number then, you know?
Yeah.
And then giving her time to figure it out, because the second one, she would just go back to it.
Yeah.
To the dog. Then you were tapping for that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's hard because
it's surprising, you know.
Yeah, because it's surprising to me, and then I have to be like ready, you know, at all times. So no, but yeah, obviously that was a lot better. It's hard, you know, when I'm surprised by the dog and then I'm not ready at that high number.
Yeah.
And then it turns into that lunging and stuff. But would you suggest if that does happen, like with a new dog or that dog again, and I didn't see the dog and I wasn't ready, and something like that happened, to just keep like what we did, just jack it up and then try it again and like almost like desensitize her to it?
Yeah, because with everyone you overcome, it's gonna build up to her progress. And also, if you're not able to shut that down when you pass it, then your whole walk, she's gonna be more tense. Because I'm not sure if Jesse told you, but like reactivity is like it starts from the beginning. So like if you don't address one thing, or like if you come out with a lot of energy, she's already at a 1. And then like, let's say you passed by that house and it wasn't addressed, you didn't correct her or anything, you just like, whatever, I'm gonna walk by it. Now she's at like a 4 or 5.
Right.
And then she starts to build up more and more, and like when she's a dog, she starts to bark, you don't address it, and then it's like 6 now. So then like a little thing, like maybe a squirrel, maybe she doesn't care about squirrels, right? And a squirrel ran by and for some reason she just went. And then you're like, why did she go for squirrels? She doesn't like squirrels. Like doesn't make any sense. But it's like the rest of the walk, it was building up, and then this little thing can set her off.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
as long as you are able to shut it down and just be able to walk past by it and her not be stuck on looking at the dog and like going back and forth and just getting back to like this, it's fine. But if you're trying to address this defense reactivity, definitely repeating it, experimenting with more numbers. So the number we were using on the bigger dog was 95, or was it 90?
It was 95.
Okay. So now we know that 95 worked there, and it'd be the same thing as with that little dog. And it just depends, like size sometimes matters, like the barking and like, because like then there's something, because then she kept hearing that bark, that dog, right? But then this new bark comes, he's like, what was that? And then then we're back, you know, there.
Right.
So now we know. I try 100 one day maybe, for one like walk, see how she takes it, and then what it's all about what she retains after. That's all that matters.
Okay.
And for that one house, she retained it well, but then that new dog, she went back to.
Right.
You know, it also takes repetition, because when we go higher, we're getting more to like a stronger no, basically. Because in the beginning, sometimes dogs feel a tap and they think it means go. But as we keep going higher, they're like, okay, this definitely does not mean go. This means something else. And then they start to figure it out as you keep exposing them to those situations over there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense a lot. Yeah.
Do you have any questions so far?
It's just interesting to me, you know, when we went past the bigger dog there, and she, you know, still whiny, still on edge, but not anything like the first time. So she obviously remembered or retained it, like you said. And it's just interesting to me how she can, like, so quickly, like, get out of that with a different dog. Do you think it's just because she gets surprised?
I think the reason why she reacted to this one right away, like right off the bat, is because in the perfect scenario, it would have just been that one dog, right? And then the walk, and then seeing how it goes. But now, since we didn't tap her and we wanted her to, let's see what she does, and she was still tense, think of that as like, she's at a 3 now. Now when she goes here, there's gonna be something versus squashing that that anxiousness, and she doesn't know what to do. So she's left here, she's like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. She's like, I'm tense, and then another, you know, I'm gonna blow up. Versus here, if we went past that first house, it's still stressful, but if she was just like, she didn't care, then maybe she wouldn't have reacted to that second dog.
Right.
So that's what I'm thinking, is just because that she was tense from that, and then this one is like more stressful, so then she reacted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
What else? But you did well. I just do what you've been doing with the thresholds, giving space.
Okay.
And then playing with that number. So now we know 95 got us some progress. I say try like 197, and then see what that gets you.
Okay.
What else?
So just for clarification, so I know, because you were saying do one thing at a time. So even though we're in heel, and we get surprised if something like that happens, I shouldn't be tapping for heel. I should be tapping for reactivity.
Yeah. So if she lunges, because it's always going to be her going left.
Yeah.
So there would be no need to turn around. But once you tap, she comes here and she goes forward. But if she's passive, you're good. But then you can start to address the heel when she goes back to like lunging. But when she goes back to like the head turn, ears up, she's gonna go over there, and then you correct again, and it's gonna be like this over and over. So then you would want to, because for the dog, you saw the video I did, there was one moment where we were walking, it was around a corner, and then a dog came out the street, and the dog lunged this way. So then we did tap, 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 turn, and then he kept going, tap, 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 turn, and we did here, he's fine, we turn. He was hesitant, I think, but they stayed here. So it's like depending on the situation. Okay. If you want to switch it up, you can go across the block, walk to the dog, and then if she lunges, then tap, 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 turn. And then like experiment with that, and then circle back, see what she's retained, and then you can walk on the grass, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you wanted to switch it up, what time is it? See if we have time to do that. 2:30? How far are we from the cars?
Our cars are right over here.
We'll go ahead and we'll cross this block here. And then when you see the dog, walk to it. You don't need to walk, obviously, here, but walk, let's say we'll stop at like, because we want Gidget to see the dog. So we want to walk to the dog, and then if you see, I like to go by, what do you go by when she's passing you, like her?
Say that again?
What do you, what's your like marker to know that she's passing you?
Usually, like when her leg is, or like her shoulders.
Is that easy for you to see, or did you, because sometimes.
Yeah, no, that's pretty easy for me to see.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, cool, we'll use that. And then as soon as you see the shoulder pass, or like ears, slow down, no slow down, then quick, just tap and turn. You want to tap first instead of the, because I think when you're teaching heel, it's you turn, then you tap, right? Is that the way?
What I remember is when she passes, immediately like tap and turn, like almost at the same time.
Yes. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and do that. And then, sound good?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But if she's, hypothetically, if she stays in heel, but she doesn't.
Okay, so yeah, I know what you're saying. So when you're walking, and if she's staying in heel and you don't need to turn, just keep walking, and then we have to come back this way, and then you'll just do a right turn, see what she does. But you want to, when you're walking to the dog, you're gonna want to walk a certain speed and then slow down and see what she does. But if we know if she doesn't slow down, that means she's too focused on the dog. So then that's also addressing the fence reactivity.
And then you would just turn and tap.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So we should do.
Yes.
Okay. Heel.
Good. And then there's a dog up front, so we can just let this guy pass. And then what's our number? Go to, we'll try 100. Is it that blue house the guy's on, or is it the one next to it?
That's a great one. It's the one next to it.
Okay.
It's the one with the white thing. Porch. So do you want me to turn into the street and go straight towards it?
Yes. And if you do see, you're gonna watch her. If you see her ears go forward and she's getting amped up, just start tapping and just start turning. Okay. To correct the, her being amped up. Good. Good. And then just do a left turn. That's good. So she's kind of resisting, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead, go back on this block, and then revisit the little dog. That's fine, that's fine. That's fine. Are the owners outside?
No, but the door's open. It's a weird house.
Where is this little guy at?
I thought the little guy was. Oh no, it was in this yard. I thought one of these. There's a couple. Might have brought him inside.
But she did good.
She did do good. I'm honestly surprised.
She was a little resistant.
I think it's when, like...
Once we got past the cars? Or what were we going to say? I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's... I think maybe this is just me taking a wild guess, but whenever a dog is on her, like the side of her, I feel like she feels a little bit more threatened or something.
Yeah.
When... I've never done that before, where I go straight towards a dog.
Because it's if anything, it would be more uncomfortable because it's confrontational. It's because it's like walking to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you're walking to it instead of walking next to it.
Right.
So I was expecting to see more, but since we've already walked by it a few more times, that we might not see it. So the next time, I just do walking straight. Jesse always recommends doing the stationary first, but in these situations it's kind of hard because it requires you to stay there. And
like just sit in front of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you ever find a house where we found a good house last time with one client, the fences were high and like you can just tell no one was there. And it was like we just stayed there, and like every time they react, we just pull up and put them into a sit, and then just address the tension.
Okay.
It's all personal preference. Rather, because it's like the difference is when you correct while moving, it's difficult because energy wants to move. So you're moving already. So there's already kind of like you already have a disadvantage there because of the movement.
Right.
But with stationary, since energy wants to move, you're addressing like a few more things, like don't move, like deal with it,
Right.
versus moving. But it's good to experiment, walk straight to it and then see how she takes that. And then, even if it's just for a few seconds, like when that happens, just give more space because this is kind of too close.
Right.
So maybe like when you're against the fence and she's on your right side, you stop for a quick second, pull up and just tap and just address that. Okay. And then once she's settled, then you continue your walk. Obviously, it had to be quick because I don't know who's if they'd be upset or anything.
So we're here. Yeah, I think my neighbors thought I was crazy because I was going through this intersection in the middle of the street.
Oh, say it again. What?
I think my neighbors thought I was crazy because like here.
So then tap. Yep. Good job. And then just quick turn. Yep. Perfect.
Right here, I think my neighbors, literally a couple people came out on their porches just to stare at me, zapping her.
Oh.
I was practicing with that dog on the corner there, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh, I see. I mean,
It's kind of funny.
I don't know if it'd be if you were close to that neighbor, ask for some help, let your dog out,
I
please.
know.
But I don't know.
I thought about writing her a letter, hey. But we'll see.
So I think give it time, see what you can get, and then if you're still needing help whenever you want, let Jesse know, and then we can set up something else.
Okay.
What else?
Yeah, it's really that situation with the fence is really my only the biggest variable.
Yeah.
Everything else she's taking to pretty well.
Oh yeah. I think she'll go forward when she's kind of nervous with because I think she might have gone forward with the bike. You think, or I'm not. You know her better than I do.
With the what?
The bike passing.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So here, yeah, good. Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
As you keep moving, she'll start to readjust herself to the better position instead of being too laggy.
Got it.
Lagging behind.
Yeah, because up until today, I thought every time I stopped and she sits, I'm supposed to say heel and then keep going. Mm-hmm. So part of me wonders whether
she
once
you apply,
keeps going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wait, part of you wonders what?
Because I have repeated heel after she sits when I stop.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
I wonder now, now that she's gone forward a couple times I had to tap her, is because I'm not repeating it enough. And that's why.
She kept going forward?
Yeah.
Yeah. You might also see more progress with the reactivity since she's like, oh, now when I pass, I get tapped instead of resetting.
Right.
Because now she's gonna be more focused, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So you might see more progress with that as well since you're correcting when she passes you.